We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
They changed the name of the high school and all James Woods can say is, ooh, a piece of candy. 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 When a ball turned into a vampire, all James Woods could say was, ooh, a piece of candy. 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 When he became Peter's best friend, they sat around the house and said, ooh, a piece of candy. 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 And you know that James Woods practices lines real well, but everything that he reads becomes real hard to spell. Everyone tries to help him, but the words just won't come out. There's only one thing he can think of, and it's what comes out his mouth. Ooh, a piece of candy. 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 When he comes out of his house, the women scream and shout. Ooh, a piece of candy. 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 When they know that he's next to the best of them all, when he says, ooh, a piece of candy. 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 Reese's Pieces on the floor and watch him come a saying, ooh, a piece of candy. 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 And you know that James Woods practices lines real well, but everything that he reads becomes real hard to spell. Everyone tries to help him, but the words just won't come out. There's only one thing he can think of, and it's what comes out his mouth. Ooh, a piece of candy. 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 When he comes out of his house, the women scream and shout. Ooh, a piece of candy. 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 Ooh, a piece of candy.
Fucking thing sucks.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever the fuck you are. I don't care. It's none of my business. It's me, Uncle Warren. You may know me from that idiot in the morning who does the news. So if I say good morning, it's just force of habit. Don't worry about it. This is a safe space for the most part. We are live on YouTube, Rockfin, and Rumble this evening. The holy trinity of streaming, if you want to put it that way, if you're a religious type. Shout out everybody who's here. We got some early birds here. Willie Bragg in the house. I always think of the Velvet Underground every time I hear that song. Yes, that's the Hamburger Hobos out of North Mississippi. It's called Hard on Candy, and it's basically about the episode of Family Guy where James Woods is eating a piece of candy. He goes, ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. They said, fuck it, we're going to make a song about it. And we got Teresa over on Rockfin. Hello, good morning, Teresa. I told you good morning was going to pop out. It's going to happen. It's morning somewhere, I guess. Beer 30, that sort of thing. Yeah, so good to see everybody here. Let's bring in our buddy Ricky Rants live from the Big Apple. Oh, you did the ooh. Did somebody say McDonald's?
Was my timing right? Did I get it?
We
You
did not
nailed
rehearse
it,
that.
kid. You nailed it, kid. We didn't even need a second take. It was perfect. How are
Awesome.
you doing, sir? You're there on your usual famous couch there. It's
My
always good
my
to
blue couch, yeah, it's still here. It's worn in at this point. I'm well. I'm alive and well. I'm still in New York, still kicking, still doing the thing.
right on, right on. I was there up until January of this year and decided to move to Chicago in the middle of winter because I'm not a very bright person. I think when I got here, it was 4 degrees when I got off the train. And oh, yeah, good times. Cape Socialist, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. And Mad Villain. Yes, yes, indeed. But, winters in New York, they just aren't winters anymore, right? I mean, it's like we didn't get any snow the last couple of years. Not really, not anything that stuck, right?
I will say it's been mild for I can't remember the last bad one. That's how long it's been. We used to get them though. I would say the mid 2010s. We used to get hammered. We used to have days where like things shut down. People couldn't get off their street. They're like dying because they couldn't get to the hospital. They were like stuck on their streets in like Queens or whatever. I remember those stories because they were real. We would have whiteouts, they would call them.
Hey,
We
don't
haven't
be
had that.
racist. Don't be racist. Okay, this is a
I
clean
mean,
show.
that's mainstream media, That's what they do.
Well, I
Uh,
do. Well, I think the last blizzard was probably like maybe 2015. Because I remember in
was
Brooklyn, I went out and I was taking video of everything, and the wind was just like the snow was like horizontal. The way
yeah,
it was just fucking crazy. And then before that, that's when I was living in where was I living? I can't remember where I was. But before that, I was in Bed-Stuy, the Bushwick Bed-Stuy County line, as I like to call it, over there by the what is it? The Woodhull Hospital, the death hospital over there. But that I think that's when Bloomberg was mayor, and it was like the snow was like up to the belly on me, and I was like, holy shit, this is a fuck ton of snow.
yeah.
But not
We used to
not
have
since.
brutal winters back in the day. They just don't exist in New York right now. They might come back around, but I'm loving it though because I hate the summer. To be honest, I'm so glad that summer's over. It was so hot here. We had so much humidity. It was like humid for months, months. So I'm glad that it's starting to cool off a little bit. Still pretty warm here in New York, but I'm happy for fall. I love fall, and I like these mild winters we've been having. Honestly, so thank you, climate change or
Yeah,
whatever we
I know,
attribute it
right?
to. I'll take it.
I'm exactly the same way. I'm an old Southern boy, and I grew up in that miserable Mississippi / Louisiana, funk ass, what do they call it, swamp ass down there, and it was just, and New York was just very, very humid during the summer, and even if you have AC, you still got to get out and do things, and it's just like, boom, you hit that wall of humidity as soon as you
Yeah,
leave the building, right? But then winter comes along and it's like, oh man, this is great. Hoodie weather up until like
I love
January
it.
or February. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Heck yeah,
Oh, I do miss
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I'm very like slow in the summer because I'm so like the heat makes me so sluggish and
Yeah, you don't
sticky
want to
and
do
like
anything. You don't want to like
thank you.
in the winter time you like, yeah, you got like some the hoodie on or something like that, but you feel like going places. It's more you feel it's the whole you can put on layers, but you can't take off layers in the summer. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you're peeling skin, and then you're probably losing friends because you're skinless. I mean, I don't. My friends would definitely not hang out with me if I didn't have any skin. But it was just so fucking hot, and you go down in the tunnels to the subway, and it was just a fucking oven in those
dude.
places.
Dude, Herald Square, that particular subway station, everyone needs to know this. If you're a tourist in New York in the summer, never go to 34th Street Herald Square subway station. It is a good 10 degrees hotter than every other subway station in New York. I don't know why. I don't know what's under there, but it's about 120 degrees in the summer. I'm not even making that up. That's not even far fetched. You could
No,
go
he's
down
talking.
there and measure it. It's probably 120 plus degrees. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? The only thing I could think of that's probably because that's the station that has like the most foot traffic through it, because of its location. Um, Like if you go up to Times Square, that one's pretty hot too. But yeah, you're right. Herald Square, holy
Yep.
crap. You
Yep.
just get down there and you're in a schwitz. It's like instant soaked shirt and you're just sitting
Everyone's
there
wet.
and
It's
it
like a
all
bad music video. Everyone's wet, not looking good. It's
and
bad. Yeah.
the baked pea smell. It's just
Yeah, that's another thing. Fall smells so much better. The plants are changing. You don't smell the pea. It's there. The pea's still there, but if it's not cooking, you don't really smell it as much.
Yeah,
You get a little hint of it. You know what I'm saying? In summer, like everything smells like piss in the summer. Like literally everything is piss. Everything is piss in the summer. Fall, you get all these other smells. Like you smell bakeries all of a sudden that you couldn't smell in the heat because the heat just like
right.
takes out all the good sweet smells. All of it's gone in the summer. You just don't smell it. But in the fall, you start smelling all the bakeries and the food smells that you couldn't smell all summer. I love it.
It is a real psychological thing too, right? Because you associate those baking smells, right? And coffee smells different in like the fall and the winter.
Yep.
It's just yeah, because you're just in this frame of mind, like I need warm food, I need warm drink, and it's very pleasing. But then you get to summertime, and all it is just like I need cold, 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 cold. You don't want to cook anything hardly, and it's just like yeah. Even if you got air conditioning in your place, it's just like that thick humidity. You can't get rid of that shit, man.
Nope.
We got Blue Moon Red Wine in the house. She says fall best season, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Like fall and early like I guess early spring. You're getting that tail end of winter, and it's still a little crisp. That was the thing. So when I was growing up, I always loved the summer times and hated the winters, right? And then I get to New York, and it was a total reversal. I love the winters now, and I would dread the sun, like March, April would show up, and you're like, oh, okay, well, it's still good, still a little hoodie weather. And then April, May, and then you get into June, and then those temperatures start going up. And then by the time you get to July and August, it's just you're just dying.
July was horrible this year.
Oh,
July was really.
I can imagine. I mean, it was the last few summers. Although last summer wasn't as bad, it was still bad, but it wasn't as bad as the one before. I think the one before we were getting like a lot of 100-degree temperatures and whatnot. It was just
With the heat index, yeah, that's bad.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like if you live out west or something and there's no humidity and like that, like this summer, they were getting a lot of heat out there, like 100 degrees, 100+ degrees out there, and good for them that they didn't have the fucking humidity. Holy shit, they would have been fucked.
Yeah.
Probably just literally parboiled right there in their clothes.
Yeah. Go to Miami in the summer. It's like miserable. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
New Orleans too. I used to go when I used to live on the Gulf Coast. We go to New Orleans all the time, but the best time to go to New Orleans was usually in the fall. Like you go around Halloween, it's great. The weather's a lot cooler, but during the summer, you're just swimming in that humidity. It's so fucking thick. So you just
and Mardi Gras is in the spring, right?
yeah, that Mardi Gras is usually like February. Sometimes it really depends. It's like February, March, but yeah, it's well before the flames come. So
Yep.
Well, speaking of New York City, I've been away for a while, so I don't know what's going on there.
Just cops shooting people, whatever.
Right?
Cops shooting people. You know what? We were on a good streak there for a while. Cops weren't shooting people for a minute. They actually weren't shooting people for a minute. I thought we were onto something, and cops are apparently shooting people again, and people are pissed.
Yeah, their quotas. They forgot they have their quotas, and like, oh shit, we got to shoot a certain amount of people. We don't get our bonus.
Yeah, all at once. They just knocked it out real quick.
The one, and we were just talking about this before the show too. The one that really got me was the cop shooting the person jumping the turnstile, right? And I saw on social media some of the people talking about it. It's like, well, he shouldn't have jumped the turnstile. And then you had people like, so the motherfucker deserved a bullet for not paying $2.90? Are you out of your fucking tree? But You
Yeah,
know,
we pay billions of dollars so cops can shoot people over 290. They
right.
have a huge budget. Has anyone seen the NYPD's budget? It's multiple billions every year. It's massive. It is
I think
huge.
the last one I saw was like either 12 or 14 billion,
Somewhere
something
in
like
that
that.
range.
Because
Somewhere.
I know Eric Adams, the piece of shit mayor, former cop, if you guys didn't know, he decided to cut services across the board, except for guess what? The police
Police,
department.
of course.
Yes. You know, because got to keep these unrulies in line. You know what I mean?
Gotta shoot them.
Um, but I mean, that's you and people. You said people were protesting.
Oh,
Uh,
people are protesting. I mean, people are always protesting something, but yeah, people are definitely protesting police brutality. It's not good. Definitely not a good thing. The
well,
restlessness.
yeah, you. I mean, and then you have all the you know the Israeli protests too. On top of that, and you know both factions. You know the pro Israelis, pro Palestinians. Yeah, I'm amazed there hasn't been like some sort of like actual war in the streets with those people.
Not
Uh,
really. No.
you, you know, it's, I mean, thank goodness, but
Right.
you know, I mean, this was a hot summer and people were protesting and, you know, tempers tend to flare, when it gets hot like that. That's another reason why summer's cause just kind of a shit season now. Cause it just makes you crazy.
Everyone's
Um,
crazy and crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
um, but, do you think, let me ask you this. Have you noticed any like I saw like some of the like there was a Starbucks over there by St. Mark's place had closed down, which I thought was I was like, wow,
That one.
Starbucks actually closed. But I
That's the
mean,
one that's been there for decades, though. That's like one of the oldest Starbucks in Manhattan.
right, right.
That's iconic.
That's what shocked me was like my wow, if that closed, what the hell's going on in New York? But you say that it's not there's not a lot of businesses closing there, or what's the scene
Uh,
there?
Not at the moment. I think things have bounced back. Tourism is in full swing again. I've seen a lot of the empty storefronts that have been empty mostly since 2020 when the government forced everyone to pay rent on their business and didn't allow them to have customers, which destroyed so many businesses here in New York back in 2020. I've seen a lot of those storefronts get filled recently. So there's been a wave of new business. It's been a little bit in 2022, a little bit in 2023, but 2024 is really filling in a lot of those empty storefronts. So there's a big bounce back right now. It's taken a few years to really get back to where we were, but I'm seeing it now. Although there are, there's rumblings of a potential recession coming up, and there's all these other issues going on, possible war, this, and that. So who knows? Some of these businesses might not last. They might turn over really fast. We have all these weed shops now. I know you were here for that because 2023 is when they really, really rolled out hard. So you were still here for the weed shops, but many of them are still illegal. So I don't know how some of them are operating. Some of them have been shut down already. That's a whole mess, the whole weed shop thing here, because to actually get a license, I'm sure it's extremely expensive.
Well, it seems
Um,
like they didn't have their shit together in Albany, right? They were supposed to have like these boards and committees that are supposed to, like here in Illinois, they have got their shit together. When you go to a dispensary here, you know you got to have your ID, and like if you're in state you can get a certain amount. If you're out of state you can only get, like, you're kind of limited, and so they're very strict with the rules and the taxes and stuff like that. And like you said, in New York, I did go to some of those. I had a weed shop right at the end of my block over there in Fort Greene, and
yeah.
they I don't know how they stayed open. They would come in, they wouldn't check IDs, and there was none of this like scanning and stuff. Like it was just like
Right.
it was like a weed bodega, right?
Yeah.
I'm amazed there wasn't a cat laying around somewhere in there, because it was just like you go in, hey, what's up, my friend? How are you today? You need matches? Like, no, I got a lighter. Hey, you need a straw? I don't have a drink. What the hell? Why you ask me for a straw? But they're like, oh, what kind of weed would you like? I'm like, okay, here it is. But a lot of
There it
those,
is.
there was one midtown over there by I can't remember, where was it, near 56th Street, west 56th, that I used to go to when I worked around that area, and then it just they got closed because they were just, it was just the laws. I mean, and it's such a shame too, because I mean, it's such a revenue. It's like easy money for these stores. It's just like, so,
Yep.
but it's the government who don't have their shit together.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of these shops are illegal, and I like that there are a ton of these shops coming in because that actually should make the quality go up. If there's tons of people fighting to sell weed, people are not going to sell as much crap weed, I would imagine. But yeah, they're going to make it hard, I think. They have in many states. In many states, just to have a license to grow and sell and do all these things, there's a huge bar you have to be able to hit. And it's financial, really. It's a financial barrier, and it's making a lot of states just corporate weed. Basically, these corporations are coming in, buying up tons of storefronts, and they're the only ones that can actually afford to operate. So corporate weed, Snoop Dogg weed, or whatever. Like, but here it's like the Wild West. Still, it's kind of interesting. It's like the early days of cryptocurrency. Like, what is happening? What is this? What is this coin? Where did it come from? Blah blah blah. Like, who knows?
It really is too. Like I said, and like they passed this. They made it legal in New York. But then, like I said, they didn't set up any of the committees or anything like for the regulatory agencies. It was like you said, it was wild west, and it's such a shame too, because you talk about the tourism coming back, right? And this place used to be New Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the PR and the marketing just creates itself, and then you got these fuckheads in Albany that's not doing shit, and then you got the local people who are not only dealing with high leases for just even these small little places. That's how I don't understand how the dollar slice places are still open, but God love them.
Almost all of them have gone up to $1.50 by now. They've been all creeping up. I think there's only a few that are actually $1. And those can't stay $1. Cost of goods alone, man. Inflation has really soared these last few years, and rent's gonna, go up if it hasn't already. Some of them might have signed some long-term leases, and they're still on those old deals, maybe, but that's gonna change. They have to raise those prices. But $1.50 slice, I'm still impressed. That's not bad.
I don't see that around here in Chicago. I mean, they have the a shit ton of pizza places, but you got to buy a whole pie.
Bro, when I went to Chicago a few years ago, I was doing some work out there, and I was looking at the deep dish prices at some of those spots, and yes, some of them are probably tourist spots, but the prices were insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
The prices were like, I don't know, like $40 for one pie, and I'm like, what? $40 in Chicago? That's more expensive than New York.
That's why a lot of these people around here, like my buddy Ed, he makes his own, and that's what you got to do. I mean, it's like you could afford like decent prices. I think there was this one pizza joint around here was celebrating its anniversary. Not here in Chicago. It was like, I guess, out in the suburbs, and it was like they were selling 14-inch 2-topping pizzas at 1964 prices when they started. And it was like they were charging like $3 and something for a pizza. Now it's probably like 10 times that for a pizza, which is supposed to be cheap food, right? But even that, it's not. I'll tell you this though: if you could do me a favor, like, please don't go out of your way. But if you're ever around in Brooklyn, like at around J Street Metrotech. On J Street, there are $2 pizza slices, and they're right across the street from each other. They may have gone up to 150, but like if you ever go to the F train, if you ever get off at J Street for some reason, just peek around on J Street around there, see if those places are still $1, if they went up to $1.50. Because remember, you get the 2 slices. I think when I first got to New York in 2009, it was like 2 slices and a drink were like $2.50. Right?
Yeah, and then $2.75.
And then $2.75, and now $3, and possibly more. Well, it's probably $4 now. Yeah,
$3.99.
Because $1.50 for $3 for 2 slices, and then the drink's $1. So yeah, that's $4. And it's like, well, that's still cheap, but still, it's the principle of the thing. So, I know we could talk about New York, all right, but I want to talk to you about you're not on YouTube anymore because YouTube screwed you
over 2 years ago
for telling the truth. Which is funny now because like you could probably say everything you said 2 years ago now and you'd probably be okay. Maybe
100% actually.
Yeah.
Now like all these like these YouTube doctors that are now questioning the narratives are saying what I was saying, this layman, literally 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's not misinformation for asking questions. Oopsie.
That's why I always like, reading your posts and stuff, because you were always like Johnny on the spot with her. You were not down with the bullshit narrative that they were peddling at all. And I really appreciated that too, because there was a lot of us who felt the same way. And, but yeah, we would, we would see people like you get your channels taken away. I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck is going on here? But now it's okay. So, but you do it. You
always.
Yeah. I mean, well, you got your own like real cool life stuff that you're doing, but you're doing Substack too, which is good. So,
I'm on the old Substack, rickyrants.substack.com. If you like controversial topics, I talk about a lot of those.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the point now. I really appreciate the controversial takes because they always seem to be correct. At least they're proven to be correct more often than not. Speaking of controversy, we were talking about Trump, right? And him and his assassination attempts. What's your theory on the assassinations?
Well, I think Donald Trump heals like Wolverine. I'm impressed. Are you not impressed? I'm impressed.
Well, at least his ear does. He's got a Wolverine ear, that's for sure.
I will say, I think they botched a few things. If they didn't botch a few things, I think they would have a very good operation. I think that a lot of it was very convincing, to be honest. But I think they botched a few things. That's my opinion. And I think those few things that they botched were really, they were really big things, like the ear thing. You don't show off the ear for many, many months, maybe, after a rifle blows off a piece of it or draws blood even, because rifles, just shoot something with a rifle and come back to me. They are very powerful weapons. You don't botch that. And there's other things that they botched, I think, in that whole first assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, that kind of gave us enough clues to say something is not right here. And I'm of the opinion that it was some kind of staged trickery. A lot of it was really well done, but to some degree, it is fake. Did people get hurt? It's possible people got hurt. I'm not saying that it is 100% staged, but Donald Trump didn't get hurt. He's fine.
Well, somebody got killed, right? I mean, you think that was somebody that was just what do they call that, collateral damage as part of the scam? Because because when they shoot, right, and he grabs his ear and he pulls it away to look at it, there's no blood on his hand. If you just got the tip of your ear shot with a bullet, that's not just skin. There's blood, there's cartilage in there as well. And as you said, like maybe like a couple weeks later, he had some procedure done in Jersey to fix it. But even if you get plastic surgery, you're still going to have some sort of scarring because it's cartilage. It's not like just skin that just boop, heals up. It's very, very, very suspicious for sure.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. Did someone die? I don't even think so. We have less information about that whole part of it. I've seen a little bit of video. Funny how all those people were there and there's very little video. And the video that we do have, a lot of it is choppy. It's been chopped into like different pieces, and it's like, what has been released about this? This is very strange. I don't know. To me, it seems unreal. And you can also, I think it's also telling when all these fundraisers come out immediately after. You'll see like the next day someone started a GoFundMe, like an official GoFundMe. Like no one's mourning, no one's dealing with like the feds, no one's going to the hospitals, no one's going to doing funeral arrangements. Oh no, they want your money. Give me your money. That's their first priority.
Yeah.
Red flag. Red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and he was that before Joe dropped out and they installed Kamala, or was that after? I can't remember.
Wasn't it like the same week or so?
It was
like within days. Yeah,
right? So she gets installed, right? Sleepy goes to sleep. And then and then all of a sudden I think she got like some sort of like bump from that. And so I think what could have possibly happened is, Trump's people said, we got to stage something. You and I were talking about Ryan Christian, the last American vagabond, who was doing a deep dive on the first one. And he was talking about somebody being on the water tower, but I don't know if that way in the distance. I don't know, because there's some sort of like little box or thing or something on there, and they thought maybe it was a person up there. I mean, what do you think?
I try to look into that. It's hard. That one's hard. I think that's kind of a misleading thing. The water tower. I mean, someone could have been up there. Honestly, someone probably should have been up there. It's the highest vantage point. You should probably have someone like Secret Service or police or whatever. Someone should probably be up there anyways. But I think that's maybe a distraction more than anything else, even though a lot of people that were at the rally and people that I don't think were in on it, because there was a lot of random people. So some people were probably in on whatever this was. Some people probably weren't. But a lot of random people were saying, it came from the water tower, But who knows what that is, we don't really see like any flares from guns, right? We don't see any like muzzle fire, whatever they call it. Like there's no fire from anywhere. We just hear things and people screaming and pointing and talking, and we don't have any real evidence of gunfire at all, to be honest.
I think the only thing, and I can't be 100% sure, they slowed down the video where Trump is speaking, and you see like this projectile kind of like
so the only video evidence that we have of gunfire is ricochets off of railing on the bleachers on one side of Trump. Whether that's actual bullets or not, I don't know. One bullet apparently hit like a hydraulics line, and it made a stack of speakers come down on one side. And then that iconic photo was taken by the New York Times, who doesn't even support Trump, allegedly. But they were there front and center while bullets were whizzing by, allegedly, just taking a gajillion photos. And they have to have the camera at a certain setting to even get a photo of a bullet like that. And I wrote about it at rickyrants.substack.com. Like the bullet doesn't even align with the top of his ear. If you really just draw a line,
right,
the trajectory of the bullet itself, they all have trajectories. It's a straight line. It should be.
Right.
And it doesn't even align with the top of his ear where he got shot. It aligns with like the middle or maybe the bottom of his ear.
Right. So he was turned like this, and it was just like,
correct,
went like that.
Yes.
And because if it would have hit the top of his ear, you would have seen at least like some sort of little blood splatter or something if it actually clipped his ear. I mean, you're not going to see a fountain of blood, but you're going to see a little bit at least, right?
I think when he stands back up, you would see blood. Blood should be coming out quite quickly, I would imagine. Unless they're trying to say like a bullet fired from a rifle like solders the ear off, and I don't believe that. I think if he's got blood on his hand and you see blood running down his face, it should also be like kind of running down his shoulder too, I would imagine. Because when I've cut my ear before, and I bleed like crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of like nerves and veins and stuff up there, and like if you do the earlobe, like if you're getting your ear pierced, that's one thing that's not really bad, but the top there is just like full of stuff like that. Did you ever watch like professional wrestling when you were a kid or anything like that? So you'll know what I'm talking about here. Like, so the guys way back in the day, they would have like their fingers taped up, right? For reasons, I don't know what it was, I guess for grip or something, but they would keep, one would keep like a little bitty like razor blade in one of them. So when they get hit with a chair or something like that, then you're like, oh, they'd put, they break that thing and then, and then just kind of swipe it across and, there's all this blood up here. Cause you see all these old school wrestlers that have like all these scars on their forehead. It's from doing that fucking shit. And he probably could have taken a lesson from when he was involved with the wrestling, and he didn't have any tape on his fingers, but he could have had something in his pocket where he just like kind of clipped it or something, or maybe even just had like a packet of like fake blood just squishing, like, oh God, the horror, the humanity. It's like, bitch, you didn't get shot. Fuck off.
Also, remember, he got completely surrounded by these like dollar store mall copy type Secret Service people that did not look experienced. Didn't look experienced. Like some of them didn't even know how to like holster a gun. They're just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. It makes me think that they were maybe not even real Secret Service. Maybe they were like, I don't know, State Department, Homeland Security agents that were playing dress up and playing Secret Service. I don't know who these people were, but they look fake to me. I don't know. But they also surrounded him and like helped him up, and they were all putting their hands in there and they were grabbing his hat or his shoes or whatever they were doing. So honestly, anyone could have put that there. They could have put some blood on them. Who knows?
Yes, Gene, this is serious conversation. We have to talk about this kind of stuff because there's so much propaganda and fake shit here that there, like in the last several years, you would have started off with Russiagate, and then you had Trump derangement syndrome. Then it was Ukraine Nazi love, and now it's Israeli genocide love. And these people are just like fried in the fucking brain. COVID. We were talking about this earlier. It just scared the fuck out of people. And when you scare the fuck out of people and then provide them, say, oh, well, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. Everything's going to be fine. Just trust us. Then they're like, oh, great, they're going to take care of things. Everything's going to be fine. And it's like, no, bitch, it's not going to be fine. And you have a lot of people who believe that. And when you have that environment, you're going to have these people like Trump, who like he said, he's a game show host. He's he knows all the wrestling, like the fake kayfabe that's going on there. So who's to say he doesn't try and pull some fake shit like that? Now let's move on to the second one, the second attempt, and let me see here. Let me get set up here. Just as a reminder as to what happened. On the second one that happened recently. Let me just get this set up. So this is just basically just kind of nutshell what happened here. Let's watch this.
We begin with breaking news. One person is in custody after shots were fired at former President Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach.
This attempt on Trump's life comes just 2 months after the first assassination attempt at a rally of his in Pennsylvania, July 13th. Well, we have new video tonight of Mr. Trump's motorcade today after the apparent assassination attempt. We understand he is now back home.
NBC4's Karma Dickerson joins us now live in the studio with an update on the investigation and who law enforcement has in custody. Karma.
Yes, President Trump is unharmed and reportedly back at his Mar-a-Lago estate after today's incident. We have recently heard from the Secret Service, the FBI, and local law enforcement. And it appears that preventing the assassination attempt quickly and arresting the person allegedly responsible came down to a sharp-eyed Secret Service agent and a diligent witness. It was about 1:30 Sunday afternoon when President Trump was golfing at his West Palm Beach golf course. Per Secret Service protocol, there was a Secret Service agent 1 or 2 holes ahead of him scouting the area for security. And that Secret Service agent apparently saw someone in the bushes with a rifle.
We had that information because the bubble moves through the golf course. So our agents will get there first, clear it. He noticed that the rifle was pointed out. Our agents engaged.
The agents engaged, firing at the person 4 to 6 times. Now, it's unclear if that person was hit. However, he did get away from the golf course, leaving behind an AK-47 style rifle, 2 backpacks, and a GoPro camera. However, a witness spotted the alleged would-be shooter.
Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great.
The investigation into how this happened continues. According to law enforcement, the man arrested did not make any statements about the incident. As to how he was able to get within an estimated 300 to 500 yards of a former president and current presidential candidate who just 9 weeks ago survived another assassination attempt.
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right. And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it.
Yeah, but he already got shot at once, apparently, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And once you're the president, you're always the president.
Exactly. It's like, oh, we had like limited because he's not the city. Hey, dude, okay, why wouldn't he have his own personal security then? If he got shot at, if I got shot at and I had like $1 billion, I'd be paranoid as fuck and be like, okay, Secret Service, and I'm going to get my own boys on the perimeter if you guys aren't going to be out there, right? I don't know. Okay.
100%. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Biden doesn't have that much Secret Service. They don't even let him go out for walks anymore. Come on. Like, he's got like in-home care or something. Like, he doesn't need Secret Service. Like, Trump has Secret Service. This is all nonsense to me.
Yeah. Let's go ahead.
And they're like,
oh, go ahead.
They're saying that this was like a last-minute idea. Like, let's go to the golf course. Let's do this on a whim. Let's go to the golf course. Let's not schedule the trip to the golf course. Does that like throw off the Secret Service? But this guy knew. This guy apparently knew to hide in the bushes or something. What? What's happening? What's going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, this guy here that looks like he's trying to sell you a timeshare, you know, he's saying, oh, well, there's bushes all around, so he's probably just like, well, why you got people looking through the fucking bushes? What the hell? All right, there's only like 30 seconds left, so let's just finish this, and we'll discuss.
Well, because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done.
And of course, one of the major questions people have here is who is the person responsible? Well, senior law enforcement officials tell NBC that the person we're talking about is a 58-year-old man by the name of Ryan Wesley Routh. This is, of course, a developing story, so be sure to stick with us on NBC4 for all of those.
Yeah. Apparently this Routh guy, he's like some like Ukrainian like super fan. He tried to go over there and actually fight. He was too old. And one of the theories is that Trump wants to stop the Ukraine-Russia war. So this guy went, oh, fuck that. We're going to stop him instead. But we've been lied to so many times, not just about this shit, but like COVID and all Russiagate and all this stuff that we discussed earlier. I mean, so the guy's in the bushes. He leaves his gun. He leaves all his shit and jumps in the car. I mean,
it sounds like a script. It sounds like a script because it's a script. Like, this is ridiculous.
It does. It really is. I think it is scripted.
Ridiculous. Yeah, 100%. Go for it. Like, we can tear this one apart easily. I feel like this one really sheds light on the first one, because if this one falls apart, which I think is more likely to, then everyone's going to be like, oh, I guess that first one was fake.
Right.
A lot of people really think Trump almost got killed. But he turned his head because the power of God made him turn his head in the right angle at the last second, right before the bullet.
Yeah, it was God.
That, like, God saved him. He turned his head at the right time, and oh my gosh! And now we got fucking this clown in the bushes. To the brick illusion, guys.
he's like Homer tried to like get away. It's one of the meme where he just disappears into the bush.
Right.
I mean, well, they were making it sound like, oh, a second shooter. It's like the dude didn't even shoot. It was like the only shooting done was by the fucking Secret Service, and they were probably just going boo 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 boo. And and this guy, he looks like he's like, crashing at Venice Beach, and he he gets. I mean, yeah, you see the guy. He looks like me on a 3-day meth binge. You know, he's got the crazy hair and the fucking shit, but he had like the fucking Ukraine flag, and it was just. I think Fiorella said this best. It's like this is too easy to pin this on this guy. This is just too obvious, right?
It's too stupid. It's just too dumb.
It is.
This guy's got an AK-47 rifle, and he doesn't get one bullet put in him. You got Secret Service. And he's running. He's running away after having an AK-47 style rifle lined up at the president or waiting for the president or whatever it is. And then he doesn't get one bullet. I mean, we got people jumping turnstiles getting bullets in them here in New York. And that guy doesn't have a bullet
exactly.
In him? Get out of here. Stop.
And to top it off, too, it is Florida, too. Florida is the wild, wild west, too, right? It's weird if somebody isn't shooting something in Florida. So, you know, for this guy to not even get a shot off, I mean, and then they find the gun. They don't like cap him. I mean, like in the first one, what was his name? Crooks? I don't know what the guy's name was. They got up in there. They capped that kid instant, right? But there was
allegedly.
Thank you. But there was, because there's this one video, and I showed it on the morning show, that this Butler police officer, or like, I don't know, he's a sheriff's deputy or something. He said he saw somebody like heading towards over there. He asked, did you guys check the top of the roof there where these Secret Service people were? And they're like, nah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And then, you know, the next thing you know, pow, 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 pow.
It didn't make any sense. Yeah. Cause the kid allegedly climbed up on that roof right by the adjoining building, which was an extra story high. And in those windows are where there's supposed to be officers.
Right. And when
they could just look out the window and see the guy on the roof and be like, you're done.
Right.
Been easy.
And it wasn't it like he went to like some store to get like a ladder or something, and he's he's toting along this ladder and just, don't mind me. I know the president's over there. You guys aren't going to mind if I climb up on this roof with this fucking gun. Yeah. What?
There's the reporting made no sense. This is how you know journalistic integrity doesn't exist when it's coming from the mainstream. It's because he bought a 6-foot ladder from Home Depot, and then you look at the film and it's like, oh, that looks like a 10-foot ladder. Maybe I just don't know my sizes. Okay, whatever. Oh, he walked an hour to the rally. Wasn't he on a bike or wasn't he in a car? Oh no, he was in some kind of vehicle because they're talking about how he had a bomb in his vehicle. But he walked from Home Depot with the ladder. And then there's some other guy who was on a motorcycle. All these details. This is how you know it's fake. It's because they know that they're going to mess it up in some way, shape, or form. So they throw in all these other details, or
right.
sometimes they're completely, like, it completely conflicts with what they're saying. You know, they'll throw in these extra details that don't make any sense. So you sit there and you fight and argue over the details. Oh, it's a 6-foot ladder. No, it's a 10-foot ladder. No, he walked there from Home Depot. No, he drove there and there was a bomb in his car. Because it's all bullshit. That's how you know it's scripted. Like, there's only one reality, as far as I'm concerned. Like, right. How can the journalists not get what size ladder it was, where it was purchased? Because people have called that Home Depot, that one in the area. There's only one within walking distance or driving distance of that event space. No one knew anything about this kid at that Home Depot. No one. They don't have it on. They don't have it. There's no video. Have you seen video of the Home Depot purchase? I haven't seen video of the Home Depot purchase because it didn't happen. It's all made up.
Yeah. It is.
Or you have, or a journalist right out of undergrad can just go and be like, "Hi, I'm from insert whatever MSM company I'm from. I'm from CNN. Can I get some information about the purchase this kid made here?" Boom, boom, boom. You'd have a quote from the manager. You'd have video that you could pull. This is easy. This is easy stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't give this information to your average person usually. Usually they kind of obfuscate and stuff like that because only mainstream media can tell stories in this country. Citizen journalists get pounded, but
yeah. Well, yeah. If you're not accredited with the right mainstream media, then that's a wrap. But you hit it right on the head, I think, when you said when they threw in all these extra details to just kind of like piss in the Kool-Aid, right? It was just
100%.
Yeah, it could, because that's the thing with things like this. It's you throw in these extra details to sow more confusion, and then you start, you don't think about, Occam's razor. The simplest solution is usually what it is, right? And
Right.
the simplest solution is this looked like some fake ass shit from
Yeah.
top
I
to
mean,
bottom.
there's so many more details. I mean, I did 2 pieces on this on my Substack. If you really want to go into the nitty gritty, because it does matter, because when things don't line up, you got to call bullshit. You can go there and read about it, comment. I'll respond.
RickyRants.substack.com.
But
Yes.
going back to the other guy, we have to talk about how this guy he's a criminal. He's a felon, right? So this guy that's like flying all over the world, just like showing up in Ukraine is like, I pledge tribute or whatever, and they're like, no, you're too old, dude. And he was supposed to be like actually recruit. He was supposed to be recruiting people. Did you know that he was like recruiting people actively? Like, who are you? How did you get that gig? Who paid for you to go there? Like, what's your job? Like, you know how hard it is to get a job as a felon in America? It's hard enough to get a job as a respectable person. As a felon who's probably done God knows this guy's probably done some crazy stuff. Yeah, who's paying for all this? Who's paying for you to go to Ukraine? I think he went to Taiwan and did some recruitment there as well. I'm like, this smells like Fed to me. How are you just going from place to place? I feel like Taiwan would have like arrested this man for the stuff he was doing. I don't believe that he's just kind of gallivanting from country to country and recruiting and has all these crazy like political ideas, and I'm just not buying it. And who bought the rifle? He can't buy one if he's a felon. Who gave him a rifle? And those are expensive. What job does he have?
Yeah, they're not cheap. Gina has a question. She says, why do you think that people don't try to shoot Trump? Do you think the Secret Service is some special force, that people aren't crazy? I mean, yeah, people are crazy, but I mean, in this day and age, to get close enough to shoot the president, a sane person can't get that close unless there's some sort of inside shit going on, right?
Yeah, I agree. And maybe some people have tried to kill Trump, and maybe it just didn't work with the narrative at the moment, and they just didn't really make a big deal out of it. Maybe they squashed it.
It's hard as fuck. Since Kennedy and really Reagan, I mean, it's hard as fuck to kill the president now. It's supposed to be. Anyway, but, if you have these lapses in the Secret Service, or, maybe you got somebody on the inside working for the Secret Service as part of the fuckery, it's not, we're not saying that it's definite that it was fake. It's just all the signs seem to point to that. Logically anyway, because if you think about like, well, if he was really shot at, then, where was the blood on the ear? How did the ear heal like it had never been shot? These are questions. Why did they let the kid up on the roof? This shit. There's a lot of these questions, and it kind of goes back, since you and I both lived in New York, going back to 9/11 and those questions, about Building 7 and Shanksville, how it didn't look like a plane crash, it looked like a ditch full of garbage, and how the most defended building on the planet, the Pentagon, which has like 1 billion cameras around it, only had one working that day that apparently was a Fisher-Price crank thing at 2 frames a second, where you just see flash and then smoke. And you have to ask these fucking questions. It's not like you're wearing a tinfoil hat. You're just a reasonable person wanting reasonable answers, and we ain't getting none of those.
Yeah, this would be considered like critical thinking if it wasn't demonized.
Exactly. They don't want the critical thinking.
And the same people that are giving you all of these details that don't really align, that are conflicting with one another, they're the ones that are demonizing critical thinking.
Yeah, because they want you to go along with the sheep and believe, the narrative that they're trying to push, because it's all about control, right? Yep. It's all about controlling the public, controlling the masses, and controlling the narratives. That's why we have a duopoly, where you have one presidential candidate didn't even get voted for in the primaries. The other one is a fucking, crazy Zionist guy that just wants to, suck, Bibi's dick and Israel's dick. It's just like it's a clown show, and it's. I always tell people, it's like, look, if you're going to vote on the national level for people, you're just wasting your time, because it's all scripted. None of this. If you're not out in the streets calling for revolution, then what the fuck are you doing, right? But I don't know, man. That's why I like talking to you, because like, you not only are skeptical about this shit, you like do your homework on this shit too.
I didn't do a deep dive on number 2, but I feel like number 2 might be a little more obvious, and I've seen other people do work on it already. And I'm just like, I don't even need to do that guy. That speaks for itself. But 1 already proved to me that there's something's not right. It's just not right.
Yeah.
The details do not make any sense. And if it doesn't make sense, you can't just be like, well, MSM said so. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
No.
Because they do this for 2 reasons, to divide and conquer. They want us, because when we're so distracted with this, we're not looking up to seeing what the big master plan is, right?
Right.
So these events always cause conflict. Oh, gun rights, and oh, Trump bad, or Kamala bad, or blah, 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 whatever. It always causes these stupid little fights. And what are the details? 6-foot ladder, 10-foot ladder. Always fights and conflict. Divide and conquer, and fear-based control. Fear-based control. A populace that's always in fear. A war is on the horizon, or, someone's going to walk into my place of work and shoot up my workplace. That's why they do these scripted things. And it happens a lot. It happens all over the world. It's not just America, but it happens probably the most in America. And propaganda is legal. It was legalized, like officially, even though it happened long before. But it happened by, thanks to Obama. Thanks, Obama. He made it completely legal to propagandize and lie to the people through the media. So they're lying to you because they're allowed to.
Yeah.
Someone's probably getting paid, or there's a bigger agenda at play, whatever. And the government has power. They do. So.
Yeah, and I used to kind of laugh at the libertarians about like how they wanted to get rid of government, and I was like, well, we gotta have some form of government. But now I'm like, I don't know, maybe we should just do regional governments and not even have a national government if it's going to be this corrupted. I mean, you don't have term limits in the House or the Senate, right? And your Supreme Court's not even elected at all. They're at least not by us. They're chosen by the president, and then the Senate confirms them or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then you have all these federal judges that these presidents and their supposed enemies in government that just kind of just like, yep, blank check. There you go. Yeah, that's fine. Meanwhile, they're like, oh, those Democrats are evil. Oh, those Republicans are evil. Like, bitch, you guys are just working together, and you're working together and fooling people.
Yeah, all the way down, even New York City. We have the same corruption here. Like, mayor of New York is not a federal position, but it is big.
It's huge.
It is big, and it's. This guy's corrupt. Like, he's here because it's a big appointment. Mayor of New York City, and our judges here. P. Diddy just got arrested here, right? He got indicted. But this is kangaroo court land big time here. So many criminals go through this system, and if they're like white collar and they have powerful friends, man, a lot of them get off or get a slap on the wrist. Man, this is a very corrupt court system here in New York. And Diddy's not even getting all the charges he should be getting, because God knows he did some crazy stuff. And I don't know, a lot of people are saying, well, maybe they're trying to pull some information out of him, and they're going to, try to bring down other people, yada, yada. I'm not super optimistic that he'll get the full sentencing that he deserves. And I'm definitely not optimistic that all these other people that were in his circle will go down with him.
And there's that Epstein connection too. So that probably has something to do with it too. Why he's not getting the full meal deal, why he's only getting the Happy Meal instead. So, but that could be a conversation for another day. We're at the top of the hour, my friend. I mean, we have these great conversations, man. That time, man, just goes by, man. I missed this, brother. We definitely got to get you back on. I just got put Game.film said, the diddler. Yes, the diddler. Diddy is a distraction. Yes, Miguel, he is a distraction.
Sure.
All right, so the obligatories, tell everybody where they can find you. Shout out your Substack. Again, you know the drill.
Yeah, Substack is rickyrants.substack.com. I'm also on the old Twitter, or X, or whatever we call it these days, _ Ricky Rants _ That's what it is these days. That's my handle. That's where you'll find me, really.
And the I in Ricky Rants is an exclamation point. It's
yes, the actual Ricky Rants title is an exclamation point.
Yeah.
But if you're going to Substack, it's just an I, rickyrants.substack.com.
Oh, you're just kind of plain on Substack. No, I understand. Yeah, you don't want to get too fancy, I guess.
I don't think you can do an exclamation point in the URL.
Fuck you, Substack. Give them this fucking exclamation point. That's your trademark. Come on, man. These fuckers. But you said you're doing like you're doing some acting work too. You want to tell people about that?
Not so much acting. I mean, I will be doing some background work on Happy Gilmore 2, guys. There's a Happy Gilmore 2 being filmed. I hope it's good. I actually like the old Happy Gilmore. But they seem to ruin every comedy these days, though.
They do.
Unfortunately. They really do. So fingers crossed. But that's just a little background work. That's not serious stuff. I am doing more like playwriting, and hopefully I'll do some screenwriting as well, because I do love to write scripts. But yeah, I'm working on a play right now. That's still very early on. If I have an update, I'll bring it back to you later down the road.
Sweet. Well, yeah, definitely. And like I said, we'll get you on again soon, because like I said, it's been a minute since you've been on, and I miss talking to you. So, one of my New York peeps, man, we got to stick together. So, hang on just one moment. Let me say goodbye to everybody, and I'll say goodbye to you proper once we're done here. I want to thank everybody for showing up here. We got Rick and Miguel, Game.film, Steve, Bella is here, and Gene. Well, Gene was here. Who else we got in the mix? CBC Voter. We got Props in the house. Ed's here. Miguel, I think I said you again, but you're worth a double shout out. Why not? Shelly and Teresa over there on holding it down on Rockfin. I think that is everybody. And as always, if I missed you, Chuck, of course, Chuck's Intergalactic UFO Show. Around the World with Dee and Friends. Don't forget to check out her show coming up soon. I think probably about another hour or so, maybe. Cape Socialist. Willie Bragg, and Mad Villain. So we had a good crowd tonight for the Rickster. So, we don't have crap people on this show, folks. We're top shelf when it comes to this kind of shit. So, appreciate you, Rick. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Love each and every one of you. I'm gonna be back Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. 10, 9, 8, 7 a.m. Did I say p.m.? 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time. I said specific on purpose. For morning extra, more news, less bullshit. And, we're going to talk about the things that you guys like. So, anyway, peace out. I love each and every one of you. And we'll see you on Friday. Peace. Oh, maybe not. Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.